Hi again and welcome to my channel. Today I want to know if you are one of those that's spending more time setting up your productivity app than actually being productive. If you are, guess what? You're not the only one. So many of us chase the perfect app, tweaking dashboards, designing templates, syncing calendars, all in the name of getting organized. But somehow we end up busier instead of better. In this video, let's find out whether these apps are really helping or if a simple, consistent process might be the smarter choice. You've probably tried apps like Notion, Trello, or ClickUp, each one promising to simplify your workflow, but the more features they add, the harder it can be to focus. There's something I call the setup tax, the time you spend building, color coding, and reorganizing your app instead of actually doing your tasks. And here's the truth. Checking boxes doesn't equal progress. It only feels like it does. Back in 2025, a survey of knowledge workers found that people were using, on average, between 8 and 15 different work apps a day, and spending up to 2.5 hours just searching for information across them. Only about 40% said that they actually felt in control of their workflow. That says a lot, doesn't it? If you've ever felt guilty for reworking the same to-do list 3 times, don't blame yourself. These tools are designed for flexibility, not necessarily for focus. So what do you need? Well, a simple to-do list and a consistent process around it. I've been doing that for years in complex and messy business environments with large and small project management teams, dealing with managers and directors of all levels. Here's my tip for these situations. Simple consistency beats complexity every time. Oh, and in case you missed it, this is the channel where I try to explain complex, mostly technical subjects, tools, processes, and themes to anyone who is new to them. You know that ping that hits right in the middle of deep work? That's your productivity app reminding you to stay focused. Oh, the irony. Those constant alerts create what psychologists call switching or alert fatigue. You start reacting more than working, and soon your brain associates productivity with stress instead of progress. It also makes you feel like you're always on, even when you're off work. That reminder to check your habits or review your goals is just another digital nudge that chips away at your focus. For this one, my next advice will change your life, but you need to be brave. Open your calendar app's settings and turn off all the notifications. Yes, off completely. Then, every day before you start your work, force yourself to look at your calendar, plan ahead, and be prepared for what's coming. It works, and it's a tip I have been using since I first heard about it back in 2003. Be honest, how many times have you switched apps, convinced this one will finally fix everything? We've all done it. Moved from Notion to Microsoft To Do, to Todoist, to Google Tasks, to Evernote, to ClickUp, to MS Planner, to TickTick, to Freedom, to Xmind. Then we spend hours migrating data, learning shortcuts, setting up integrations and rules, and by the time we're finished, we've lost the clarity we were trying to gain. The truth is, no app does everything perfectly. It's about using any tool consistently enough that it fades into the background. If all these apps were physical planners, would I keep buying new ones every month? Probably not, because the problem isn't the notebook, it's how we use it. Real life doesn't follow perfect workflows. Your child gets sick, a client calls early, Plans change daily, if not hourly. And when that happens, rigid productivity systems tend to break. In fact, in studies of real-world use published up to 2024, researchers consistently found that people's days were far more fragmented and interrupted than planned schedules suggest, which helps explain why tightly scripted systems feel great on paper or online, but fall apart in practice. Some apps assume your day runs like a clean Kanban board, but when your life doesn't, it leaves you frustrated, even guilty for not sticking to the plan. What if the simplest tool, even a paper notebook, could give you more peace and better focus than a €9 a month subscription? Because in the end, real productivity is less about perfect tracking and more about getting things done despite the chaos. If you want to dive deeper into this idea, especially around how our relationship with tools shapes our habits, check out my other video on the channel, How to Structure Your Tasks So Nothing Slips, a complete guide. It connects really nicely to what we're talking about here, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. The video is about an hour long, as I wanted it to be really thorough and covering my entire system in detail. But don't worry, I've added chapter markers in the description so you can skip around to what interests you the most. One section I'd especially recommend, the weekly reviews part, at around about the 46-minute mark. That's the heart of the system and the most valuable takeaway. Right, so before you go, here are 3 simple things to remember for today. First, as I said before, consistency beats complexity. A basic to-do list you trust will always outperform a fancy app you don't use. Second, focus is your real currency. Don't let dashboards and notifications rent space in your head. And third, the right tool is the one that fits your brain, not someone else's workflow. You don't need a perfect system. You just need one that helps you do the next right thing. And that's real productivity. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.